pussy to
Alright,
bleed.
now start.
Alright, yeah. What's that nigga name? I'll start. Naya punishes Choso. Naya was boxing with Maki. This is simple scaling. Choso cannot box a Maki. Maki would just beat the fuck out of Choso at the beginning of the fight. Before he can adapt.
Yeah, so
You want me
let's
to show you
get
that?
into that.
Yeah,
I think I know what you're talking about. You're just talking about at the start of the fight when Maki was like swapping with Nalia.
Let me go see my scan for. That's probably what I'm talking about. Go ahead, talk real quick. Go ahead, talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, what's up?
Go ahead. I'm saying go ahead. Let me go see
Yeah,
first.
are
You can
Are you
talk.
talking about this scan? I posted in scans.
Let me see. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you know how as Nalia stacks his technique, he gets faster?
Yeah, that doesn't like. I don't care. That doesn't contradict what I'm talking about. They're fighting.
I'm just asking. Like, you agree as he stacks his technique, he speeds up and gets faster?
I think he can manually stack it. I don't know, like, if it's like linear. As soon as he just uses it, it gets faster while he's using it. I just know he can stack it, but it doesn't the stacking part doesn't matter to me. All that matters is just the fact that they're boxing. So
as he stacks it, but as he stacks it, he progressively gets faster. Like, you're aware of that statement, right?
Bro, all I know is he can stack upon his shit together, and I know he can reach a top speed. Is what I know. I don't know how this occurs. I don't know like with the linear time, but I think. Hold on, let me see. I think there's a scan that explains it.
Yeah, there is. I can show it to you. I have it right here.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Let's say it's a scan where they explain it right here.
However, when the technique is repeatedly stacked upon yourself, the speed can be increased. So basically, he can up his speed.
I know he can. Yeah, the speed is also limited by the up body's acceleration when activating the technique. However, when the technique is repeatedly stacked upon yourself, the speed can be increased. Yeah, so and then it goes top speed in that scan after that. Yeah, that doesn't matter to my scaling.
No, it does, because this was at the start of the fight, so he wasn't at his top speed yet. He wasn't stacked up.
That doesn't matter to me if he's not at his top speed or not. My problem is he blitzes. He punishes Choso. He doesn't punish Maki at the beginning of the fight. And you're using Naya fight Choso. That's what we agreed to. Naya fight. So then they're both respective fight. Yeah, that's what we both agreed to. And they're both respective fights, right? They both get one of them gets punished at the beginning, and the other one drops at the beginning. Then starts to have troubles because someone's obviously stacking fucking speed. Do you want me to show you that?
I know what you're talking about. So just to make sure I understand what you're saying here, right? You're saying that Maki scales to start a fight now, yeah?
No, I'm just still man. I could probably find some. I don't know. I could probably find some shit more on my scan servers later to make it higher. But for now, all I need for now, make sure the judges hear that. For now, all I'm saying is for now, respectively both at the beginning of the fights, Maki, as you agree to, is boxing with Choso. I mean, what's that nigga name? Naya. They're like going hand in hand. While the same thing does not occur for Choso. He gets punished at the beginning of the fight, and he has to adapt to him, and he still gets punished.
So when he was getting punished, as you said by Nalia, that was base Choso. It was
we both said like Naya fight. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, I know, but base Choso, he can use flowing red skill stack in the Nalia fight. You realize that, right? Because he's able to scale to Choso once he's actually able to get flowing red skill stack. Actually.
I don't think so.
Well, he blatantly reacts to him.
Let me see. Are you talking about the scan where he says he adjusts to me?
Yeah, but in that scan, he's reacting to no.
Are you saying is that the scan? What happens right after that?
What happens right after that?
What happens right after that? You don't know?
He gets tagged. I'm telling you what happened, dog.
Okay, so you show me one reaction feat, and he still gets his ass beat, and then wait a minute. You show me one reaction feat. There's something that called consistency, which is what you need to debate with. You show me one reaction feat, and you're gonna try to use that in this debate with me, like it's gonna convince anybody. Right after that, this nigga Choso tags on him with piercing blood, which should be considerably faster, and it makes Naya slower throughout the rest of the fight. So you think this one fucking shit would outscale anything? Can I want me to send the scan, or did you already send it?
I can just go to what you're talking about. So
let me send the whole scan. Hold on. Before we start, can I send the whole shit so I can look at it for myself too?
Here, I'll just send it right now. I have the chapter pulled up. So, I'm guessing you're talking about this sequence right here. He spins around. He tries to throw a strike at Naoya. Oh yeah, you're sending it too. Cool.
Yeah,
and then Naoya ducks under and stabs him, right? This is what you're talking about?
Yeah, right here. Let me see. You posted it? Yeah. And then afterward, and then afterwards.
So, basically, what happens here, right? Choso's able to react initially. Naoya ducks under, stabs him, but Naoya does say he acts under the assumption that Choso will always counter, right? So Naoya is, ready for any type of response Choso has, and already priming. Hey, let me finish. He's priming a counterattack. So him getting tagged doesn't mean anything. People. No, let me finish. People that are relative can tag each other. These don't contradict each other anyway.
Bubblez. When you're fighting someone, can I ask you a question? Aren't you prepared for them to counter too? Like that's stupid. You're gonna fight someone and not think they're gonna throw a counter? Yes. He just probably said that thought out loud. But yes, you're always prepared to counter someone when you're fighting them. Like I said, this is inconsistent because we see him get punished earlier. We say, oh, he adjusted to me. You normally know that fucking this nigga Naya can get faster. What I would just tell you is, Naya obviously got faster. He just tags him, and then he beats his ass. Then after that, Choso has to do something to make him slower. Literally. Okay. He has to do something to make him slower.
Deadboy, listen. You're shotgunning. Deadboy, you're shotgunning.
I'm not shotgunning. I'm not shotgunning. Evidently, we see him fight a slower. Evidently, we see him fight a slower Naya. Evidently, we see that.
Okay, Deadboy, you just shotgun the fuck out of me, bro.
Yo, do you guys have a mod?
No,
and he's shotgunning the fuck out of me, bro.
If I shotgun, it's my fault. But go ahead.
You just dropped like 3 points,
We're not gonna do like that mutant shit. My fault, bro. What did you? Okay. What point were you gonna attack from? Which one are you gonna attack? What I said.
The thing you said that when people are in a fight, right, they're gonna be expecting a counter, right?
Yeah.
There's in the case of Naoya, when he's previously blitzing Choso, he doesn't know how fast Choso gets once Flowing Red Scale Stack is active. Because before this, he was blitzing Choso, right?
What does that mean?
Can I show you that?
Well, okay, I mean, that doesn't hold the relevance to what I'm saying.
I'm trying to explain the point,
I'm talking about the fundamental foundation of what a fight is.
You're not letting me finish my point, bro. You keep.
I'm just saying that has nothing to do with anything. You're talking about the relevant stuff.
You can think that, right? But I keep trying to bring up the point and finish it. Okay, and then you interrupt me. Okay, so the reason that's not relevant.
Asking questions to progress his point, so just don't interrupt.
Yeah, exactly, right. So previously, Choso can't react at all, right? Now he's blitzing the shit out of him. He doesn't know that Flowing Red Skill Stack makes him this much faster, because he's actually, he doesn't know that he's going to adjust to this degree. So when you're somebody like Naoya that's able to blitz their opponent, you probably aren't expecting a counter at all times, right? But in the case of Naoya, he's somebody that just expects his opponent to throw back counters. So when somebody like Choso is finally able to counterattack, he's, prepared for that. It's like a form of, precog, right?
Okay, yeah, this is irrelevant. He says, always act on the assumption that you'll counter. When he says always, he's not only just referencing fucking Choso, it's stupid. Always is referencing, always is referencing all fights. So he obviously knows, like this point says, that this scan really helps me prove it out. Right here, I'm gonna just react to it. He always is expecting a counter from someone. This is so retarded. He obviously expects a counter. He admits. Then this nigga adjusted to me. Then he says, I always expect this thing to happen. This, that, and the third. Then he proceeds to beat his ass. And then, what's the fucking word? Again, I don't even want to talk about that part yet. Before I shotgun you. But I think I just responded to you.
Yeah, so the reason this is different, right, is in real life, I think that something like this wouldn't really matter as much. But with somebody like Naoya, who's who can have these massive speed gaps compared to his opponents, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody like that won't always act under the assumption that their opponent will be able to counter that. No, okay, Deadboy. I'm just saying somebody with that ability may not always be like that. But in the case of Naoya, he does, right? So when Choso's able to suddenly throw out this counterattack, he's already preparing to dodge and stab him, right?
Okay.
So being able to tag him, let me finish. Being able to tag him while he's already prepping to dodge an attack doesn't mean that isn't relative. What you're not understanding is people in real life. It plays back to my example, right? They are preparing
they use instincts to try to dodge someone, or they use instincts to try to see when they can get their hit off. That's what you're not understanding. What I would say is, and what you already agreed to, progressively throughout a fight, he can build up speed. What I think happens here is, he initially blitzes him, Choso gets faster, this nigga Choso throwing an attack, Naya literally gets faster and blitzes him. That's a blitz. He's literally point blank, Choso's about to throw an attack, this nigga ducks under and he's able to tag him without Choso being able to react. Choso couldn't back up, Choso didn't even perceive that shit, bruh. That's what I'm trying to say. This is like in real life. Niggas prepare for counters. I don't know if you box or anything. You watch MMA, right? You should know niggas. That's the first thing they're doing. They're reading their opponent. You should know this since you want to be a big MMA fan. Like what the fuck? Even in boxing, it's all instinctual. You do that shadow boxing shit on TikTok. I know you're a TikTok kid. Y'all watch that shadow boxing shit? That's instinctual shit, bro. Literally, it's all just instinctual shit. They do that shit. They always prepare to do shit like that. It doesn't stray away from the fact that it's still his fucking speed feat.
Okay, Deadboy, you made like a million points there again and we're rambling. So first of all, you said Choso didn't perceive that. Prove that.
What?
You said he didn't perceive Nalia's attack. Prove that.
Yeah, your claim is that they're relative, and he didn't even try to back up, or he couldn't do anything he couldn't do anything to counter it. He couldn't even parry it. That's my problem. That's why I think he couldn't perceive it. Because the reason why I think let me talk. The reason why I think Choso didn't perceive it because he didn't do anything to counter it. He couldn't counter it.
That doesn't mean you didn't perceive it, right? You can perceive
something. What does that mean? What does that mean? If someone throws a punch at you, you can't do anything.
This is how it's gonna go. It's like Bubblez, you give your argument. Deadboy, reaction. Right, just do that, bro. Okay.
Yeah,
so Bubblez, go ahead and give your argument, and Deadboy respond afterwards. Okay.
Yeah, Deadboy. You can get on in a minute to you saying he like didn't physically do anything. Cool, whatever. I don't care about that. You can perceive something, but not have the physical reactions to be able to stop it, right? You just saying, we didn't physically do anything, that doesn't mean he couldn't physically see the attack, right? You would have to prove he couldn't actually see the attack. That's completely different.
Oh, you talking about, nigga, I mean, if you're going to tell it like that, I'm talking perception blitz. I'm not talking about a perception blitz. When I mean perceive, like, he didn't react. Alright, well, that's how I'd say perceive. Like, this nigga couldn't perceive that nigga. I'm not talking about an actual perception blitz. I don't care about perception blitz. He's already faster than him.
Cool. Okay, so
I'm not talking about perception blitz. Yeah, like
well then don't say perception.
I can say what word I want to use. That's just how I gave it a context how I used the word. I don't.
Okay, so you don't mean like.
I purposely didn't say perception blitz too. I just said he couldn't perceive
like semantic dispute, bro.
It's just a semantic dispute, literally. I just said he couldn't perceive it. I didn't mean like, he got perception blitz. Like, that's retarded.
That would like.
He couldn't react. Is a better word? He couldn't react.
Okay, cool. So, you know that people that are relative can tag each other, right?
I know that people that are relative can react to each other. He couldn't react.
Tag each other.
He couldn't react. I don't think he tags him. He doesn't tag him. Funny thing.
Now he does tag him here. Like,
Choso doesn't tag him. And the first punch Choso throws him.
Choso tags him.
Okay. So your argument of what relative people can tag each other that only works if the two people are actually tagging each other. That's fucking stupid. He tries to throw an attack. He notices his niggas trying to throw an attack. Right? He ducks under that shit, which takes speed. You just duck under a hit. He ducks under the hit. He hits a nigga in the stomach. Fucking this nigga name. What's this nigga name? Choso did not physically. Choso physically did not react to the fact that he ducked under him and hit him in the stomach. It's not that hard to understand.
Deadboy, you're just spurging, bro.
I'm not spurging. Wait. Am I spurging? Or am I saying my point?
No, your mic is this like ear raping, like loud thing.
I'll back up. I'm not spurging. I'm just saying my point. Do you want me to repeat my point, Apollo?
That's fine. I was gonna say something, right? I was gonna say that Deadboy, I'm pretty sure you're trying to make the point that like even though like Naya tags like Choso, the same doesn't apply to Choso because he was incapable of tagging Naya. But I still think nonetheless that Bubblez was in the midst of making an argument and he kind of like,
you think he still needs to finish?
Yeah. So I think there's more context he's trying to add.
Okay, yeah. So please provide more context, because because Apollo, you agree, if we just go with the context that's provided right now, then his shit wouldn't make sense right now. So
based on that in the isolation, sure, but I still need to hear Bubblez' argument.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, go ahead, Bubblez. Go ahead. Yeah. Tell me that shit.
Okay, so The reason I'm saying that, right, is that people that are comparable are able to tag each other, and I'm not saying Choso tagged Naoya, right, but the point that makes is that Naoya just ducking under and tagging him once is not implicative that he is, extremely faster or blitzing him, right? I think it would imply relativity, considering that Choso was able to, react to him directly before this, and people, like, you brought up the example of MMA, right? People in MMA are able to say, yeah, what's your question?
And your basis is off of that, is that relative people can react and tag to each other. That's your basis. That's your basis.
And what I'm saying is that because of that, now you're being able to duck under and tag him doesn't mean that he's like blitzing him
so you're saying
super far apart in speed. No, Deadboy, I'm finished. It doesn't mean they're super far apart in speed. And even like the MMA example you brought up, right? People in MMA will duck under punches and tag the other person all the fucking time. Like, it's like a technique that boxers use, slip punches and land shots on their opponent. So now you're just ducking under a shot and landing a hit. Like, that's something that fighters who are relative will do to each other. That's not like a super crazy blitz. Like, that's just in close quarters he managed to land a shot.
Yeah, I think I
can clarify something, by the way, guys, okay?
Yeah, I think I already gave a contrary explanation to this. So,
wait, Deadboy, is the position that this character, like, Naoya is this level above Choso?
Naoya is just above. Naoya is above Choso, and I gave an explanation to why earlier.
Oh, yeah, like I was saying, like above, like in the sense of like a bliss level. Because if it's not like in a bliss level sense, I think Bubblez would be willing to perhaps even still amend this idea and still say that they're still within the same category from a speed
perspective. Well, I'm saying initially he blitzes him, then Choso is able to react, then he like is able to blitz him again because they couldn't react to him. That's my argument. And I explained, and I had backing to my argument that I've already said earlier, and I don't want to do this shit over and over.
So you're just making the argument that he blitzed him here, so it's most likely that he's a blitzer.
Yeah, and I explained that from what I said earlier, and based off what he just explained to me.
He's saying that it is not necessarily the case that he got blitzed in a perception sense, and it is basically consistent with MMA or UFC, where there are cases where someone ducks under someone else and tags them, but they're still within the same category from a speed perspective. They're still relative, right?
Yeah, that's what he said, but based off that's what he said, but based off what I argued earlier, I think I would have argued
But I want to confirm one more thing. The prep time argument, Bubblez, were you trying to say that Naoya had a different and special type of prep time, distinct from normal prep time in fights?
I'm just saying that somebody like IRL, when people are comparable, of course you're basically always, unless you're like a retard, you're always going to assume like, yeah, my opponent's probably going to throw a counter shot. But with somebody like Naoya, or you like in anime in general, when there's like massive speed gaps, if somebody's blitzing somebody else, they're not always going to assume their opponent can counter. But because Naoya is like always acting under that assumption, like he says, and he's like a very cautious person, he was already preparing to dodge a shot. So it just supports my idea even more that like, yeah, he could dodge him, but that doesn't mean he's way faster. Like he's able to dodge him, Choso can react, that just shows they're comparable.
Oh, so you're saying that it's not like a specific like point-blank range reaction feat, but rather he was preparing to react before Choso initiated the attack? That's what you're trying to do? Okay,
yeah, because he says he's always prepping to counter.
So basically it wouldn't be confined to like his reaction speed feat, but also his battle IQ also.
Yeah, it just supports even more that like they can just react to each other, in the sense like the MMA example that he brought up, like it just supports what I'm saying. Fighters can tag each other, shit like that.
So, okay, so let's get this clear. So, are you finished like trying to prove or attempting to prove that these characters are relative in speed-wise? Like, are you still in the process of proving that, or were you just trying to like attack Deadboy's counter reasons to that claim?
I think I've already. Well, I don't know if you're asking him, but I think I'm ready to.
Yeah, I noticed that you're ready.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I'm just curious about like whether Bubblez is ready to conclude or whether he believes that.
I'm ready to conclude.
Ready to conclude?
Well, I never really got into the specific feat that I think puts Choso relative to him. I was kind of just countering the idea that he blitzed.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, yeah. It's just we never really got there. So like, I just want to post this. So if you look here.
Well, can we go point by point real quick, please?
Sure.
Yeah. So can we just like conclude in that first point?
Well, we can just like conclude at the end. Like, I don't think we need to conclude on like individual points. Like,
yeah, Deadboy, I think this is kind of important to it though, because it's like he's saying like he has because let's say your interpretation made some more sense, right? If he gets this through, then like he has more reasoning to believe his interpretation is correct. If that makes sense.
Okay.
So it's better that way, yeah. Better if you guys just finish this like point as a whole, and then we judge it.
Right.
So if you look here, Choso's standing, or not Choso, Nalia's standing in front of Choso, and then Nalia jumps around him, and Choso's able to spin around and like match him as he jumps in the semicircle, and then Nalia even says, "Oh, he's adjusted to me," right? Adjusting would obviously imply in this context the speed, because previously the thing that was overwhelming Choso was the speed of Nalia. So that would imply that he's like adjusted to the extreme speed of Nalia.
Yeah, so I've already said, like, this is... Yeah, y'all realize these are just the same set of scans that we were arguing on earlier? And that y'all would agree that, like, we already talked about the adjusting stuff earlier?
Second. Yo,
yeah, that's true, to be honest. It's
Bubblez,
it is. I just never went into, like, because we were just talking about if he got blitzed. I never went into why I thought he reacted.
Bubblez just said helps me out.
Yo, guys, chill. Let me explain
is this the only evidence that you're going to present for this character scaling to Nalia?
Yeah,
Bubblez.
At least at this point, yeah.
Bubblez, I think you're not really understanding what Deadboy's like argument is.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Can you phrase it one more time? I'll say it this way. He's not denying this fact. He's saying that like when Choso goes for the attack and Nalia ducks it, he then speeds up. And then blitzes.
Wait a second, was this statement, just to clarify, was this statement prior to Nalia tagging Choso, or like...
okay, so wait, let me explain the context. First, Nalia pulls up, he blitzes them, like he blitzes them, right? Then he comes again, then this happens right here where he adjusts to him, then literally this panel after this, Nalia ducks under it, then he blitzes him again. Yeah. So can we conclude?
Wait, hold up, Deadboy. If you're trying to say that he sped up right before he like ducked under and hit Choso, you'd have to prove that, because specifically the way the projection sorcery works in terms of speeding people up is that each time they stack it, it allows them to like progressively build up speed. So you'd have to prove that he like stacked it again at this moment to build up his speed.
That's not what I would have to prove based off what we said earlier in the debate. So we can continue.
No, you would have to prove that, because if you can't prove that, there's no basis to say he got faster.
Based off what we said earlier in the debate, no, I wouldn't. We can continue. Based off what me and you both agreed to in the debate, we can continue. Can you give your judgment, please? Do y'all need a conclusion, or do y'all want? Can you give your judgment?
I don't need conclusions personally, but the other judges may do. So it depends on you.
I'll need to ask like Bubblez one thing. Now you guys like, because you just said like the way projection sorcery works. Do you want to like re-clarify that for Deadboy? Or
yeah, what I'm trying to say is that each time projection sorcery is used, you're able to stack it, right, and become progressively faster. So if Deadboy is trying to claim that Nalia sped up at this moment, he would have to prove that Nalia stacked projection sorcery again at this moment to speed up. Otherwise, I would just have the evidence of Choso reacting, and it would support my interpretation that there's not... Let me finish. That there's not a blitz there, and my interpretation would be more likely. If he's not going to prove that he stacked at this moment, there's just no reason to believe that.
So it's never directly stated when he's stacking it. From based off what me and him like agreed to earlier, it's more of a thing with that progressively happens throughout the fight. So there's no like panels where every time he's fighting, he's just saying, "Oh yeah, now I'm stacking it." He then goes, "Shall I go top speed?" He says stuff like that, but he never actually illustrates every time that he stacks it. That's so disingenuous to say every time he's stacking it, he makes some type of, alliteration or illustration of him doing so.
I know.
Listen, hold on.
Wait a minute. Stop. That's a straw man, though.
Wait, stop.
No, but stop. Straw man.
Wait a minute. Based off what me and Bubblez agreed to at the beginning of the debate, he uses projection sorcery, and he can stack it, and with this, he becomes progressively faster throughout the fight. My argument was, which he's not understanding is, of course, we know he fights using projection sorcery. So, what he did was, he would have blitzed him initially. He's still fighting while using it. He tries to, when even when Choso's reacting to him and still in a fight, he's still obviously using it for his speed. He then ducks under it after the person became relative to him. Then he's able to land the blow. What that tells me is progressively throughout the fight, he's using his projection sorcery. My argument pointed out that it's inconsistent for someone to show a speed blitz, then somehow be relative, then him just beat him up after that. What makes most sense to me is that he blitzes him, Choso gets faster, then he uses an ability that is known within the verse that progressively allows you to get faster throughout the fight. That's where he's able to duck under him, and he's able to hit him before Bro can react. Literally. And it's just that's that easy to explain, bro.
Okay, yeah, I just want to say one thing. I never said that there's like a specific statement or denotation that Nalia, like every time he stacks, he like states it as an indication. I was just saying that your claim would entail it, right? If you're trying to just say that, well, better feats would indicate he speeds up, then it would just go back to the previous point that we already had, so then I would be fine to move off of this.
Yeah, if you think that's an accurate response to me, then you can just have them judge.
Yeah, he's, so you guys are just basically basing it upon the whole, like, you can still be, like, Bubblez' argument that you can still be relative to someone, although, like, you can't really, stop them from like dodging and tagging you. Plus, he was like prepared for it, right?
That's what he's saying. He's saying his basis is that relative people can tag and punch each other. That's his basis. My problem with that is that we would have to see them tag each other. All we see is one kind of sort of react, and then we just see the other one just get beat up. That's my problem. I just think it's flawed. So yeah, it's based off his logic, and it's based off stuff that I've already presented earlier within the debate, and things that we already agreed upon. So I can give y'all judgment.
So it's based off like whether Bubblez justified his thing.
No, it's based off if you think what I said made sense, or do you think my claim of the if you think my explanation of projection sorcery is it even being used right here and stuff like that?
Yeah, I know that's what I mean, but like it's all contextualized to like Bubblez thing, because if Bubblez like got his contextualization like the fight thing through, then you would win. But if you like denounce that, then your interpretation of like what happened here would go through, right? That it isn't.
I think what I said because I didn't respond to that because I said what I said earlier denounces that.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not one of the people who think you directly have to respond to something.
So I'm saying based off the stuff I already said before, I think it denounces that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh.
I'm saying his shit is just flawed, and I explain why it's flawed. But y'all can give y'all judgment.
Oh, okay. So my judgments. I was away for like 3 minutes or something, but I still heard the major points regarding Nalia and the Choso skilling. I think Deadboy won the point. Now, this is a very interesting point. So I believe that you guys are making different affirmatives, really. Deadboy is on the negative. He was saying that, like, Nalia is a blitz level above Choso. And I think that Bubblez gave a good undercutting defeaters to that, which actually invalidates the claim. However, Bubblez was still in the affirmative. He was saying something else, and he didn't prove that position.
Okay.
My question would be, if you think he didn't prove that Nalia blitzed, what would be like the refutation to my claim that Choso was able to react? Because the way I understood it is he was claiming that because Nalia blitzed, that indicates he sped up, right?
Yeah, I took it that way too.
Just give me
it as like
please hold on.
Yeah, I took it as more so like Bubblez was affirming a relativity, and Deadboy was denouncing it with that. So yeah, I think it does come down to like Bubblez is affirmative, but I don't think he has to put like an extra affirmative on top of that. If that makes sense. Because I think if he gets his thing through that, like you can't be relative and still do this feat, then it isn't necessarily he got faster. It's just he's relative, but he's able to do this because it's just within the realms of relativity.
And I'm saying his basis off of that is two people tagging each other, which that doesn't happen. Like I would agree with him that it happens. So, but what's your judgment?
But I don't. Never mind. I don't want to keep debating. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, just because the recording is there for like any points you guys like want to highlight. Anyways, if you think like, oh, the judgment is like fine, or it is just wrong, you could tell us. But it's fine. But it's like leaving out a key detail I didn't agree to, or like they missed like a minute detail. But personally, I think Bubblez won because I don't think Bubblez affirmed what Deadboy's saying. You could either just like remind me to check that when I'm going through the rec, Deadboy, or you can send me a timestamp when the rec comes out. But I don't think Bubblez was necessarily saying they tagged each other.
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do that. It's y'all. That's what I'm saying. I want like a third because y'all just both disagree with each other.
Well, okay.
I'm not gonna talk about previous points like now. Like we can just continue.
Yeah, we can.
Oh no, I'm not saying previous points. I'm saying like.
I'm talking about for me and Bubblez. Like I'm not gonna argue for with. Like,
I'm saying. Yeah, I agree. I'm saying like
because
for any key detail you think like we missed for. Let's say the Bubblez think we hold him and you think we hold you. Like, just DM us like the specific thing you want us to listen to when we're watching the rec.
Okay, so.
Hold on, wait. I don't know if Apollo's back. He said he's got to go.
Oh yeah. I forgot.
Until he confirmed. Yeah.
But yeah, it's split right now.
But you guys agreed to center as a third judge, right? He said he's
back. If we need to send him, we can just send it to him. Villains said Apollo building a sandcastle with cockroaches ruling that bitch.
That bitch ass nigga Mr. Woski. That nigga don't debate.
What the fuck?
19 with his
that's
nigga cold shit on God. Nigga can't fucking debate to save his fucking soul. Nigga has no feats all fucking lore. Oh yeah, let me rank 6 in Troy High because they have and they're gonna say I'm good. Stupid bitch. You was ass as fuck, nigga. You was just dog shit, you bitch. And I'm gonna spit on your mother titties, bitch ass nigga. You nasty neck ass fucking deformed grasshopping looking bitch. Fuck wrong with that nigga.
Okay.
Who Center? That Center is in chat, bro. Was he like in here?
I think he was, but he had to dip.
Well, he said, he told me he didn't listen to the first point at all, and he just picked it up from the second point, so I just pinged him. So, wait, Apollo, are you here? Like, can you listen now? Because Apollo's typing to me some. So I can start? Yo, Apollo. Alright, bad boy. Yeah, Apollo said he sticks with his judgment. He'll like give an in-depth later. But y'all boys just continue. He said he could listen now.
You said he can listen? Cool. Okay. So, Deadboy, to address the other part of your scaling, right? If you're trying to scale what's his fucking name? Or her name, Maki, to Naoya at the start of the fight, you realize that Naoya was never scaling to Choso at the start of the fight, right? Choso
Naoya blitzes him.
Well, yeah, but that was okay. That would go back to the previous point. Let's not. We need to go into that, right? But he only does that after they've been fighting for a while, so his speed had been stacking up.
It's not true. We see him and Yuji standing right there. We see, what's the word? We see fucking the nigga standing right there. We see, Naya come in, blitz him. Choso says he's getting overwhelmed with his speed.
I talk about this.
Let me see.
This was like the first interaction they had.
Yeah, so they had that interaction.
Yeah, cool. So you realize this is base Choso, right?
Okay. And then afterwards, he fights him again. Then he says, right here. Hold on. Okay.
Wait, I don't think Deadboy disagrees with a faster Choso, or FRSS Choso being above. He's saying he's like his scaling chain. I'll like send it to you.
It's indicative of the fact if we thinking it's indicative of the fact if when Nai is fighting, if he's progressively just building speed. That's under the presumption I'm under. So if he's fighting, he's just progressively getting faster.
Yeah,
so what?
Tell me if something's wrong with this, but I think this was Deadboy scaling. Like he doesn't disagree that like FRSS Choso is above beginning of fight.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like he would have sped up. He would have got like some type of amp.
No, I understand you're saying that, but this is leading to something else, right? All I'm trying to tell you is that obviously FRSS Choso is stronger than base Choso, and now you're specifically at the start of the fight never was like fighting FRSS Choso.
Yeah,
right?
he blitzes. Hold on, let me before I agree to that. Let me see it quick. Let me see when he goes on FRSS.
He activates FRSS at the very end of chapter 141, and that was after they'd already been fighting for a while. So it was like he started a fight Naoya before he started building speed was never fighting FRSS Choso.
Let me see. Yeah, all I see is, bro. Yeah, all that happens is he just moved. Yeah, so it's just that all this is just depend on the first point, bro. Literally.
I know. Deadboy, I'm just trying to lead this somewhere, right? So I'm trying to ask you something. You keep kind of like redirecting it, sort of. Like I don't know if you're. So all I'm trying to tell you is that do you agree to the fact that start of fight Naoya never fought FRSS Choso?
I don't disagree. I think he got blitzed by regular.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that base to base. I don't really care. That doesn't matter. That's like Choso, like not at his best. So. Maki was only scaling to start a fight, Naoya.
I don't think so. What do you think start a fight means?
The beginning of the fight, like before he starts stacking up and like building up speed.
What I think is like after every technique or every blow they have, they get progressively faster. He gets progressively faster, literally. That's what I think.
That's not necessarily how it works. So like the way
I'm going under what we already agreed upon earlier.
I never agreed to what you said. The way projection sorcery works is that you can stack the technique over and over, and that allows you to build speed, right? So each time he uses the technique, he increases his speed. And we see that at the start of the fight, right here, I'm just going to post these scans, Maki is like blocking shots from Naoya, right? And then he grabs her wrist, and I think it's fine. Wait a
minute. And
I was finished what I was saying.
And I think when he grabs her wrist, he gets faster. That's what I'm agreeing.
I agree. Okay, yeah, cool. So I think here that you could just say like whatever, they're probably like relative or something. He grabs her wrist, and then after that point, he starts to kind of like beat the fuck out of her. Right? She starts to not really scale to him.
Okay. Then she does something that allows her to react to her going top speed, which Choso never does. Here you go.
Oh, are you talking about the scene right here where she punches him in the face?
She stops him right in his track. She's able to turn. She's able to turn her head when he's going top speed.
Okay, so you know that the way she did that is that she's able to she has like a sensory that allowed her to sense his curse technique.
What does I gotta do? What does I gotta do with anything? She's still moving
because
top speed.
It wasn't her speed that allowed her to react to it, because once Naoya starts moving, you know how with projection sorcery you have to set your motion in place, and if you deviate from it, you get frozen.
No, I don't think so. I think his works. I think his works differently. Literally.
Dog, literally.
I think his works differently. I think he just stacks up speed. I think he stacks up speed. Nothing more, nothing less. Even in the scan, she's talking while he's moving at top speed. Literally, meanwhile, Naya is still moving top speed. So unless you don't think Naya actually gets faster, which would be a disagreement, while he's going top speed, she's talking and she turns around and stops him in his tracks. So unless there's I don't know what type of second intervals they're fighting on, but she's able to say, call him an imposter, turn her head, throw a punch to stop in mid tracks, and she's able to pummel him in the ground without him being able to react.
Okay,
that just tells me there's a speed difference.
Deadboy, you made like a very you snuck in an argument there and didn't really explain it. Why do you think Naoya's technique works differently? Because Naoya use the same technique. They both use projection sorcery.
Wait a minute. It verbatim works differently. We see two users. One user, we just see him go at a constant speed. We never see him stack his speed. We see him freeze people. That's it. Two, Naya, who can continuously stack his speed on top of each other, and he's not even using it the same way I think Nayabito was using it. That's it's opposite.
He does. You know that
Nayabito could stack his speed, Bubblez.
No, that's not what I was saying. Naoya freezes people with his technique as well. You realize?
I mean, that's the base property of it. I'm just giving you the base properties that what Nayabito only can do.
Okay, so wait. If there's base properties like you're saying,
wait a minute. The base properties are the
Let me finish.
The base properties are the same. But they use it differently. That's what I'm trying to say.
Wait, Deadboy. Y'all boys, this argument is one where it's like, you kind of gotta explain the whole thing. So, Deadboy, just give the layout, and then when Bubblez starts refuting it, don't interrupt. Just give a layout that like explains what your argument is.
Yeah, what I'm saying. All I'm saying is the base property of what projection sorcery is the same, but it is used differently by two different people. I said unless he disagrees that it's not literally amping his speed, no matter what, his force is getting multiplied by using his curse technique, which allows him to amplify his speed. So his speed is getting multiplied. We do not see this happen to Nayabito, so that's the one indicating difference. That's the only difference we need. My argument is he's actually going at a top speed, unless there's a fucking unless you have to make the argument that Maki is able in that slight time frame, which you're trying to argue. Maki is able to say a sentence, turn her head, and throw a punch and beat the fuck out of him in that little slither of a second, which just sounds very unrealistic, and it sounds not convincing at all. What I think is going on here, I just literally think that he's going top speed. She's able to react to him while he's going top speed, and then she just beats the fuck out of him, literally.
All right, yeah. Now,
and I'm gonna just send all that.
Okay, well, there's a very like important part of that. You say that Naobito, part of your basis for the technique being like different between them is that you think Naobito doesn't like stack the technique to make him faster, right?
He does. We never see him do that.
Okay, you realize that because we don't see him do that doesn't mean that he's not doing that, right?
That's what I would have. That's what I would base it off of. Yeah, that property of the technique is only explained when Naya does it, and when they explain what projection sorcery is earlier on, they don't explain this whole fact. So now you're in a rat. This is only explained when it's attributed by Naya, when we only see Naya saying top speed. We never see Naya be able to do these things, so it would be disingenuous to assume that he can't do something that's never shown to be doing.
Well, so first of all, I'm not even like trying to get into like my part of the argument right now, right? I'm trying to go into like what you're saying.
So you have to, because you're affirming something that just like
Deadboy. I'm going into an aspect of your argument, right? If you're trying to like make the basis of, well, we don't see Naobito stack this technique, and when it's described,
is that the only thing
for Naobito? No, Deadboy. I know. Motherfucker. I'm trying to like break down the argument because it's multi-point. Okay, so he's just like, if you're saying it's never shown that Naobito's doing that, that would just be an argument from ignorance, right? Because he can still be stacking his technique, considering they both use projection sorcery, right? And we see that these two techniques. Let me finish. We see these two techniques share properties with one another, right? So inferring that these techniques work the same wouldn't be an assumption, right? It would be a completely like logical inference to say that these two people use these techniques that are named the same thing, and they share clear properties with each other. So saying that, oh yeah, they probably do the same shit would make complete sense. And if you're just saying it's never shown that Naobito has this property, that'd just be an argument from ignorance.
Is that the only thing you said? You think I just said it just wasn't shown, so it's not true? Is that the only thing you really think I said?
I don't think that's the only thing you said. I wanted to break down that aspect of the argument.
Yeah, I said that because that's important. That the argument, if I would just say that becomes fallacious. But I added furthermore context, furthermore credence to that. That's not all I said. At all. You're affirming that he has this certain set ability. My problem is when projection of sorcery is explained for how he's specifically using it. Let's say maybe he could have access to it, but he just doesn't use it for some reason. So we see that he does not use it. So it would make no sense for us to argue that he can. That's fallacious within itself to say we don't see someone using it. So it's completely fallacious to argue that he's going to do something we've never seen him use. We have to use characters in character. So even if I were to agree that he has it, he's never seen to do it in a dire situation. His fucking arm got taken off. I'm saying the difference between their techniques is that they can have the same fundamental properties, but we vividly see it was gives more credence to the fact that Naya does differently. So I'm saying Naobito is fighting people, right? He's obviously there's a point in the fight where he's getting pushed, right? We never see him tap into this higher speed. What I affirm is, he probably can't do this thing. And this is affirmed because the projection source is explained for him, it's explained for you to be able to set little 24-second shit. However, when it's explained for Naya, it's something different, literally.
Well, okay, are you trying to say that, like, perhaps, like, Naobito does have the ability to speed up, but he does not use that in character, and we can't affirm that he does?
Nah, I'm not gonna keep repeating myself.
Okay, so here to just if you're just saying like perhaps their techniques work the same way, but they use them differently. Okay, Deadboy, whatever.
Even if I were to,
even if you were, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
Here's Naoya saying that he traces movements at 24 FPS.
I'm like, are you stupid? The fuck? Are you stupid?
How am I stupid?
Are you stupid? Are you not listening? Are you not listening to what I'm talking about? Are you not listening to what I'm talking about?
What? Dude,
are you not listening to what I'm saying?
It's stated that he traces
movements at 24 FPS. Are you not listening to what I'm saying? That's the same fundamental part of projection sorcery as explained for Naobito too. The only difference that's never explained for Naobito that we never see him do is the fact that he's able to stack that shit on top of each other. That's only explained within the fucking Naya fight for a certain reason. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's not hard to fucking understand, nigga. Like, what the fuck?
Hold on, wait. Yo, Deadboy, could you repeat that quieter? I'm not gonna lie. I hear shit you just said.
Wait. Got one second. I can shorten this real fast. If you're saying that Naobito, like, either doesn't stack in character or he just doesn't have it, that doesn't matter to what I'm saying, right? I
can just use the freaking techniques differently. That's the whole problem.
Wait, Deadboy. If I can just agree to that, it's just what I'm arguing is that Naoya traces movements at 24 FPS. That's all I'm arguing. It's stated he does that. Okay.
That he traces movements at 24 FPS. Yeah, okay, yes, but are you not listening to me?
Okay, well, Deadboy, so
are you not listening to me? Okay, so fact or fiction? Does his speed? Wait, fact or fiction? Does Naoya's speed increase? Yes or no?
Does Naoya's sure?
Okay, so when he's running and going at fucking Maki, is he not going top speed?
He's just going top speed, sure.
Okay. So I don't know why we keep arguing.
No, but you're not letting me finish the argument, right?
I don't know why we keep arguing.
No, you're not letting me finish the argument, right? So the reason that the 24 FPS thing is important, right, is once Naoya traces his movements, he's moving in a certain way. Like, he picks how he's going to move for the next second, and then he moves like that. That's, like, why he says he traces the movements at 24 FPS. So Maki has a sensory for curse techniques, right? So once Naoya picks the movements, all she has to do is just throw out a punch where he's going to be, and he'll have to go there, right? Because
I don't think it's what happens. I don't think he has to run. Are you trying to say he's trying to run in a straight line? Like, what are you trying to say?
No, let me finish, Deadboy. I'm not saying he goes in a straight line. I'm saying at the beginning, every 1 second, he breaks down a second into 24 FPS and chooses his movements, and then he follows those movements. So if Maki predicts where he's going to be, then she can throw a punch where he's going to end up.
Are you saying he's aim dodging?
Let me finish. No,
are you saying he's aim dodging?
It's like aim striking, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Yes.
This nigga lying like a stupid bitch. You're lying like someone you just had to lie. Like, what the fuck?
You're trying to lie.
Like a bitch. That's verbatim not stating what happened. That's why I just get you to let niggas talk. You gotta let niggas talk.
Yo, Deadboy, you're loud as fuck. Like, I didn't mute you because you're over talking.
AIDS, bro.
So it's hard to hear you. It's hard to hear you.
My fault, bro. I'm just saying that's my fault, bro. You're right. Maybe I need to start letting niggas talk because he said something stupid like a bitch, bro. This retarded as fuck, bro. I'm just gonna send the explanation and I'm gonna pinpoint. Don't say nothing, bro. So be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet. I'm gonna just send the shit. I'm gonna look at it myself.
I'm trying to be
calm.
The
explanation and what's being shown is different, then you're just a liar, bro.
Okay.
Why are you packing? Like what, bro? Hold on. I said in the wrong chat,
why are you packing? Why are you packing, bro?
I'm not packing, bro. I ain't telling you.
You're calling me a stupid bitch for like no reason, bro. Like I'm trying to be chill, and you're out here like getting loud and like you're calling me a stupid bitch.
Packing at all.
You're not packing. Why are you getting so aggressive, bro?
Not packing, bro.
Why are you getting so aggressive, bro?
I'm not worried about this shit.
Why are you getting so aggressive, bro?
Next. Like no one's even talking about that shit, bro. Fuck. Talking about some packing.
No, I don't know why you feel the need to get so aggressive all of a sudden, bro. Like, chill out.
Because you sat there and lied and rat. Like, what the fuck? You just sat there and lied. I sat there and listened to you. You just lied. You sat there and lied like a bitch.
I'm not lying.
That's why I got mad. You lied. Why did you feel the need to lie in the debate? Why did you just lie?
Can y'all boys get back on topic, bro?
Yeah, I never even got to finish my argument.
No, but I'm asking you a question though. What you just told me that does not make sense. You're saying she's aim dodging him? Why are you like? That's why I got mad and so defensive. Like you're lying.
I can finish the argument as to why I think she is. Okay.
Do you actually think that, or are you just like, are you dumb?
No, I genuinely think this.
You don't think that? You just say you don't think that?
I do think this.
You do think that she's aim dodging him?
Yes.
Deadboy, chill. Let him explain why.
Bro, he just heard explain why. He gave his explanation, bro. I
haven't finished my explanation, dumbass. Let me finish my explanation.
They already talked, bro.
I haven't finished my explanation, bro. Let me finish my explanation, okay? So, as I was saying, Maki has a like type of sensory for the curse techniques, right? And this is corroborated by
Why does she have that?
Don't make me get racist, bro.
Why does she have that?
Like, show the fuck out, okay?
Get racist, you stupid ass nigga.
Deadboy, shut the fuck up.
I said, why does she have that?
No, Deadboy, shut the fuck up, bro.
Leave that shit for after the debate, bro. Y'all niggas need to chill.
Okay, yeah, so basically...
I've been chill. Look at one of my chillest shits. I ain't
he's not even chill, bro.
I know, well, you affirm that Maki has this thing. Why does she have this thing that you want to rap?
Okay, I'm trying to explain that, and you're just over-talking me. So basically,
no, show me. I don't give a fuck. Show me.
I'm going to do that if you fucking let me finish, dumbass.
Show me a scan. Show me.
Bitch. Oh my god.
Calm down. Deadboy, just let him finish, bro. Just let him.
Nah, I want to see a scan first.
Okay, I'm trying to say.
I want to see a scan first, then he talk, because he's going to lie and rap. Send me the scan first. Listen, hold on, listen.
Dude,
wait. Send the scan first. I want proof. I just want proof before you talk. Before you send an argument, send the scan first, because you're going to rap. Send the scan.
No,
off that scan tells you, then you make your argument. The fuck? No, he just told me to send the scan, bro.
He's not letting me talk.
I'm asking for proof.
Not letting me make my argument.
I'm asking for proof.
I'm gonna send the scan. I just want you to let me talk, dumbass. What?
Alright.
I'm gonna send the scan. Just let me talk. So here we.
Wait. Alright, Deadboy, I know you don't like that mutant shit, bro, but you need to chill. Cause niggas cannot go through this shit with y'all niggas just spurging all the time. Y'all niggas, you need to chill.
Wait, yeah, y'all go come in the point of the blackout. All I'm saying is, before he starts arguing, can you just send a scan? Can you just send a scan, then argue off what the scan says?
Okay, but Deadboy, it takes like, it takes more than one scan to explain this, so I want to send them as I explain it.
Go ahead, send them. Go ahead.
Oh my god. Okay.
Go ahead, send them. Go ahead.
Deadboy.
This is the debate, bro. No, I'm doing this because he's a rat. He's just rat. He's not like he's ratting off like, come on, bro. I want him to make that same interpretation off the scans we're both looking at in front of our fucking face. Literally.
Okay. Deadboy, you need me a bitch, right? Let me just actually make my argument. So if you look here,
Sinner, am I being wrong by saying can you send the scan?
I'm sending the scan, dumbass. Okay. So if we look here, right? If you look at the kanji of the scan, right? And Viz is notorious for mistranslating shit. This is from Lightning, right? And he's a very reputable translator.
I want to use the official translation.
Let me finish my argument.
I want to use the official translation.
Let me finish my argument.
Okay.
So we've seen that here it implies a certain type of sixth sense, and regardless of what you think about the official translation, if you look at the original kanji, they use the exact same kanji from Maki here and Toji in the Gojo fight when Gojo was about to use purple, right? And it implies a sixth sense based on the kanji. So this type of this would imply that they have a sensory for curse techniques, and what she's doing is she's since in his curse technique, and because his curse technique locks him into 24 frames of movement, she can throw out a punch where he's going to be, because he has to take that set of movements and land the shot, not through speed, but through prediction, okay?
Okay. What's your argument? I don't care for dummy niggas translating Japanese. Bitch, I speak Japanese. It's translated off the context. I think it means the fucking original scan. Simple like that. I don't give a fuck about no stupid ass. I don't give a fuck about all that stupid ass, weird ass, fucking backward ass, fucking translation. I don't give a fuck. You use the original shit. If you're not using the original shit, then I'm not debating. Simple like that.
Okay, so
I can go find my own fucking translation since we're gonna do that shit. You wanna talk about kanji, bitch? I can show you 3 different kanjis meaning 3 different shits. The fuck?
No, I understand what you're saying. So, I think
can we use the original translation, please? That's all I'm asking for. I don't give a fuck about that shit.
Let me explain why I think in this case it's fine.
I don't give a flying fuck. Can you use the original translation? I don't give a fuck. No, I just said I'm not debating you arguing about translation. Use the original. See what you're gonna do to fucking argue with somebody? So you're gonna go fucking find the kanji to argue with me. Are you fucking stupid? Six niggas use kanji to argue with a nigga, bro.
You're not letting me make my argument, bro. Oh my god, this kid's retarded.
I ripped this shit straight from Manga. Wait. I'm gonna mute myself. All I'm saying is, I'm not debating someone upon translations. We're not gonna debate and argue which translation is better or not. It's either we use the official one, or we don't debate at all. I'm not gonna debate this nigga with kanji, bro. Simple like that. It's straight like that. It's nothing more, nothing less. I'm not debating this nigga upon what translation is right. No.
Deadboy. So the reason
we've been using Viz this whole time.
Okay, first of all, I haven't been using Viz this whole time. I've been posting TCB translations.
Oh.
So that's just wrong. But second of all, the reason I posted this specifically is because if you look at the raw kanji, it is the same for the Toji fight and the Maki fight, right? So I'm using the fact that the raw kanji is the same in the context of the scans in the first place, because Toji was saying the same thing right before Gojo used purple, and Maki saying the same thing right before curse technique is used, and we've seen them have extra sensory before because there hasn't been a restriction. So I'm using context to imply something that's already somewhat implied in the original translation, but is not necessarily clear. Okay.
Okay. I think Viz would have did the same thing that you're doing. What I think is, I personally would have think Viz would have took the context of earlier and then use the same context. Japanese kanji is translated through context of however it's used. Doesn't matter if it's the same exact kanji that's used. That's why I know what the fuck you're talking about. It's translated upon that exact scene or the conversation is being used upon. The reason why this is retarded to argue upon shit like this, because I can easily go translate my own shit and give it my own context, which we're not gonna do. It's better if we just agree with one set shit, because this shit that you're talking about is not in the translation I'm fucking referring to. That's all I got to say. So I don't give a fuck about arguing no translation. Call me a bitch, call what you wanna do, but that's retarded. I'm not arguing on no fucking kanji. Bitch, I speak Japanese. I speak Japanese.
You can choose to not argue about that.
I speak Japanese. I do. I speak Japanese.
Fine. I'll just take your concession on the point.
That's not a concession at all. Like, what the fuck? Because I'm not like, what? It's not a concession.
If you're saying you're not going to argue about it, then that's burden of rejoinder, dumbass.
Because I told you I'm not going to argue upon it. I told you I'm not going to argue upon it. I told you I'm not going to argue upon it because that is retarded. You have to, hold on. Wait a minute. You have to do something that allows you outside of the debate.
Just pack, and just over talk me. I don't get.
Yo, hold on, bro. Y'all boys, one finish, the other one go. Stop doing this weird ass shit, bro. Chill.
Bro, what do you mean? What do y'all talk like? Y'all just wasting y'all time, bro.
You keep over talking me, bro.
Y'all wasting your time, bro. Unless we agree upon one translation, we cannot continue this debate.
Well, then you just concede, dumbass. That's fine.
That's retarded. Bitch, you're not agreeing with.
Yes, it is.
Alright, so I'm gonna just argue my translation too. We're both just gonna go into 2 different translations. Are you stupid?
No, Deadboy, you're not understanding.
Are you fucking retarded? Like the fuck? Alright,
Deadboy, you're not understanding what I'm saying.
Wait a minute. Let's talk to the judges. Be quiet, bitch. Godly Sinner and Apollo. Does it make sense if we both go under 2 different translations, arguing under 2 different contexts, refuting 2 different points? Or do we agree to one translation?
the thing is, I feel like Bubblez is saying the reason he would use this is because he has he has very good reasoning for.
I think I have a very good reason why I can use it too. The fuck? I explain why. Japanese is translated. Golly. Japanese is translated off of context, right? Context dependent upon the sentence that is being translated upon.
Alright, but wait a second. That wasn't finished.
Oh, he's just a retard. Like, he can't read because it's like master.
Alright. He said master. Alright, bro. I'm not saying that Bubblez is correct in saying this, or that you're not correct in saying why you should use Biz. I'm saying that there is still an argument to be had as to which translation to use. And that's exactly what Bubblez is saying. And I'm just telling you that just because you don't want to use the other translation isn't a good enough reason. If Bubblez can justify it, it'll be used. And if you can denounce it, then it won't be used. Or it won't be taken into account. It's that simple. I'm not saying that Bubblez necessarily did give a crazy good reason you couldn't say anything about it. I'm saying if that's the case, then yes, I would agree with Bubblez that you were just not when that.
Yeah, you didn't hear my response. Then like niggas just act like I say shit. I say shit and niggas act like it just never existed. So Sinner and Apollo, do y'all see where I'm coming from? Or am I tripping too? I think I gave the reason why I wouldn't use it.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Oh, so if you're not disagreeing with that, then why the fuck did you just say that? Like, if my argument is, if he's basing it off of this, what more likely means this, I'm saying it doesn't matter about more likely or not. It is Japanese. Japanese is translated through the sentence. Yeah, like, it can mean multiple different things. Yeah. I can translate that to be back to the same skin I got it from. That's what I'm trying to get at.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, then I don't. But, okay, well, let's have the other judges get their input then. Like,
Deadboy, they don't need to give their input right now.
Man, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, you racist stupid ass bitch. Be quiet. Shut up, bitch. Shut up. The fuck?
Yo,
Bubblez doesn't disagree with that. Hold on, wait a second.
This man put anything you say.
Oh my god.
Yo, y'all need to stop with this fucking like insulting and like these corny ass racist jokes. Like shit not funny, but it's like some 2016 ass shit. That shit not funny. Can y'all just stop doing this like corny ass shit and just act like normal niggas? Like the shit is not that serious.
Deadboy, I think you misunderstood.
1,000 times more annoying to deal with. Just fucking debate like regular people.
Deadboy, I don't think you understood me correctly. I'm saying that what Bubblez disagrees with, he doesn't care if you attack it. He's perfectly fine with that being judged. He's saying if we use a different translation, I'm just not debating. He's saying that's you conceding. He's saying if you he's saying he's down to argue the translations, but that's up to whether he wins or loses it.
Okay. Senator, I don't know what you're saying, y'all. You know I didn't say one racist comment.
No, I'm just saying in general, like just the.
You know I didn't say one racist comment. I would have never delved down to the levels that fucking scum. But no, what I was saying was this won't be a debate, or I won't debate it because it's gonna be, what's the word? It's just gonna be a regression, and we're just actually not gonna be arguing upon the same thing. Like his argument is just gonna be trying to substantiate why his translation is right. I'm gonna say why any translation could be wrong or right, and I could just go find me another translation. It's just gonna go back and forth upon whose translation is right, this, that, and the third. That's so stupid. That's so stupid to argue my translations. I feel like I'm debating fucking Cross versus fucking Universal Naruto right now, bro. That's retarded as fuck.
I understand what you're saying, and basically every case I would agree. But the reason I'm doing it here is that there's specific context that I can show that display it, right?
Oh.
So if you could show heavy context and here I show they have the same kanji, that'd be fine.
Oh,
you can't just pull out any random translation and say.
I know you think I'm a monkey. I know you think I'm a monkey and a nigger and all, but bitch, I say words that make sense. What did I say to what you said just now? I said Japanese can have the same kanji, but it can mean different fucking shit. I don't give a fuck if the whole verse is the same shit. It depends about the words that's used in the last sentence and the sentence after that. Straight like that. That's how Japanese is translated. It's translated off of context. off of the sentence before and after. Did you know that? Did you know that? Which means in this case, what are you? The Japanese fucking word? Translator doctor? What are you, Happy 117? Shut the fuck up! The fuck give a fuck? No! Stupid ass bitch, the fuck? Happy retired. In this case, shut your stupid ass up, bro. I'm done. Bro, come on, bro. Can I talk to the judges? Can I talk to the judges, bro? I'm stupid, I'm tired of this shit. Can I talk to the judges?
Loud micing over. No, I haven't
finished my argument, right?
I haven't finished my argument. Why
talk to the hand.
Judges, bro?
Talk to the hand. I don't want to talk to you. Talk to the hand.
Talk to the hand. Talk to the hand. Talk to me.
Talk to the hand. I don't want to talk to you.
What are you talking about? Like, bro, just shut the fuck up and let me finish.
No, you're gonna say the same thing. Well, in this case,
I haven't finished my argument.
Like, I'm gonna say the same thing over and over. This is why I don't want to debate, like, translation.
No, I haven't finished my argument. Can somebody mute him, bro? Because you won't let me fucking finish. The thing he's saying about, Japanese
you sound like a faggot, you faggot ass bitch.
I understand that. Yeah, shut up, nigga. Anyways, I understand that based on context.
Like the second nigga I keep around, bro.
You have to say,
no, don't mute me after him calling me a nigga too. I promise you, don't mute me that. No one mute me. Yeah, all the niggas with melanated in the server. No one mute me for this nigga just calling me this white piece of shit. Just calling me a nigga. No one better fucking mute me. You fucking stupid rascal, fucking trailer trash, stupid little fucking faggot bitch. I might be a nigga, but you a gay ass, dick taking ass, faggot ass, stupid ass, pussy ass, bitch ass, pussy nigga. Fuck wrong with you, pussy nigga. You take dick up the dick and fucking ass, nigga. You fucking suck that, you nasty, stupid ass bitch. Fuck up. Fuck wrong with you, pussy ass bitch. I'll beat the fuck out you, you stupid ass, pussy ass nigga. I'll slap you in your fucking face, you fucking faggot. What's the one way said? Faggot. You fucking faggot. Fuck wrong with you, bitch. I don't give a fuck, nigga. Come on, bro. Talk about some fucking content. That's fucking straight fucking virgin shit. You not a virgin, get your fucking booty on fuck. You fucking nasty gay ass fucking bitch. You fucking sucking Archie's dick 3 years ago and fucking called you nasty ass stupid ass bitch. Niggas take a break cause he got 2 dicks in his ass. You nasty ass nigga. You pussy ass nigga. Fuck wrong with you, bitch. You ain't gonna call me nigga get away with that shit. You little ugly ass faggot ass bitch. You fucking queer. You stupid bitch. You fucking you fucking nasty stupid bitch. I fucking hate racist niggas like you. I swear to God, nigga. You're a bitch just like Draco. You're a faggot just like your daddy, bitch. Fuck wrong with you. This faggot ass nigga, bruh. Y'all think that shit cool? Nigga just call me a nigga? Real nigga shit, don't mute me after a nigga, just a white nigga just call a black nigga. Nigga, fuck wrong with y'all stupid ass niggas, bruh. Niggas sound crazy as a bitch, this fucking faggot ass, pussy ass nigga. Nigga take dick up the fucking ass, you nasty ass bitch. Fuck wrong with that stupid ass nigga. Call me a fucking nigga. Watch your fucking mouth, bitch. Watch your fucking mouth when you speak to me, bitch. I enslaved your stupid ass like I ever seen you in person, bitch. Fuck wrong, I enslaved your stupid ass. I enslaved your stupid ass, bitch. Talking about slavery. Bitch, I'll beat the fuck out you, nigga. I swear to God, I do stupid teeth out you, stupid ass nigga. Fuck wrong with you, bitch. I'll knock your dick fucking face that thing fucking fall off you, racist ass nigga. Fuck wrong with you, stupid bitch.
And you
fuck wrong with you, bitch. Fuck wrong with you, stupid ass nigga. Niggas racist as fuck up. I'm gonna say to talk. I'm gonna let this faggot fucking bragging white ass stupid niggas KKK Grand Wizard talk. Look at this Grand Wizard.
You got bodied, and now you're just trying to hack off with me and not listen to my point. You've already conceded, dumbass. So I really don't care
what you have to say. I didn't concede about nothing, you racist ass nigga, bro. Nigga stupid as fuck.
Have to say, bro.
I ain't concede about nothing. I think I beat your little stupid ass. I think I beat your little stupid ass like I've been doing.
You didn't say worked up about it.
I think I beat your little stupid ass like I've been doing. I've been beating your little stupid ass, you stupid ass nigga. Nigga stupid as fuck. Nigga stupid as fuck. Nigga try to call me a nigga, bro. You's a faggot just like Draco. You's a faggot just like your fucking daddy, nigga. That dirt neck ass nigga. You's a dirt neck ass nigga too. You dirt neck bitch. Fuck wrong with that stupid boy, nigga. Hey, I knew something was wrong when they tried to make fucking fake rumors about this faggot robbing the store. This little faggot's got his fucking booty robbed, his little stink doodle ass nigga. Fuck wrong this, when nigga go to jail, they gon' rape his little stupid ass, this faggot ass nigga. Fuck wrong this stupid ass, little skinny little white boy. I'll beat the fuck out you, nigga. I'll break your ass with some fucking twigs, nigga. You might like that shit, you stupid ass nigga. You gay as a bitch. I'm gonna get a pistol, I'm gonna get a bitch and put that pussy in your little gay ass. You little stupid ass nigga, bro. Fuck wrong with you, little gay ass bitch. You gay as fuck, nigga. Talk about how you suck dick, how you kiss the boys. Shut the fuck up, you nasty gay faggot. Fuck wrong with you, bitch. Go leave again. Go call me your gay ass home, nigga. Go fucking that LGBT you fucking servers and shit. Talking about how the fuck you wanna kill yourself cause you're fucking sad cause everybody's back cause you're gay. Did your mom know you're gay, Bubblez? Did your mom know you're gay?
You've already lost.
Did your mom know you're gay?
Anyways, so...
Did your mom know you're gay? Or you wanna talk about that?
And...
Did your mom know you're gay?
I guess I already displayed why this translation wouldn't apply, that she has a sensory. She also displays her sensory against Choso earlier in the fight. right?
just simply just talked over here. Like I said, I think I won the first point earlier. I think I won the second point. This nigga's proof. If this nigga's backing proof, if this nigga's backing proof and using his fucking kanji, I think I denounced that by saying I can simply translate it to anything. He's never responded to me because he can't respond to me. This is a retard of a fucking rat. He had to move on to the point from earlier that he was playing.
Now he was tagging her, so it supports that Stack Nalia doesn't scale.
So wait, hold on there a second. I'm back now. See you again. Take turns. Okay, so Bubblez.
No. Apollo, the debate's over. The debate's over.
Debate's over. Oh well.
Yeah, Bubblez called him the N word, and then Deadboy isn't debating anymore. He's just
so they're still debating completely. That's correct.
Bubblez is still going. Deadboy just doesn't want to debate anymore. Bubblez is like talking as Deadboy's like burning in the background is basically what's happening.
Well, the second time
first gets on stage.
Hey, I don't think